So, as I think I've told some of the guys that some of the people that I worked with, I've come to this journey with no expectations. Like I had nothing in mind. So it was a kind of just me open up a new opportunity that provided itself to me, and I was willing to accept whatever um, it is giving. But what I actually got out of and what it actually helped me was the skills that I've learned, and it kind of shaped the way I see the people right now and the way I react into this whole world. And if I want to talk about my next steps for what's going to happen next in my life, taking my coaching journey into perspective and into consideration is, honestly, I still do not, and if you can see, it's like something between brackets for me. I do not know if I will be pursuing this professionally, but I know that I will be using everything that I've got out of this in my life. And the first thing is just being fully present for those who are in my life. And just by being fully present is not just like a cliche that we say. No, to actually be there for them when they need me as a coach, not as a sibling, not as a mother, not as a friend, but being the coach that I think I am, and to help them better understand and further be able to just comprehend and deal with what they face in their lives. And one of the things that I realized because of this coaching journey, is that I have to better my relationship with my family. Although I thought I had a good relationship with them, but in some kind of way, I came to the conclusion that I value them and that I value myself. And this was one of the highlights that I spoken with Tari about, is that because of the exercise on the wheel of life, I discovered that I value myself and I value my family in a way that I didn't recognize before, that in a way that I did not acknowledge before. And also, I will be way more reflecting on my actions, on my words, and the weight of every single thing that I do in life, because sometimes we tend to forget that. So this is one step for me, one step that I'll be taking every single time in my life, maybe weekly, maybe monthly, that I would reflect on my things and reflect on my actions, reflect on my decisions. And maybe if they accept, I would want to continue the in-between coaching that I had with the amazing people that I got with, because it really, one of the most amazing thing about this journey is the connection that I had with these people. And I don't want to lose that. And I said it when I set my intentions, was to say goodbye in a way that I want to tell those people that I still want you in my life. This is not going to be goodbye for me. And just, leaving out some bits that they would remember about me, that they would want to be in touch with me, even if we finish, even if we don't stay in touch, even if we don't contact each other, they would have something from me with them, holding with them. And the last thing is that this beautiful thing, maybe thinking about it professionally, I don't know. But if opportunity provide itself, I wouldn't say, no, I'm not. But as I said, I believe I still have a lot of things to learn. And it was just a beautiful journey for me. It really is. And one thing that I wanted to share with you is this thing. It's a thing that it's a quote that I actually heard in a cartoon watching with my kids the other day, is that a true act of kindness always sparks another. And I believe coaching is all about that. When you listen, when you care, when you actually guide and lead this person, you are leading yourself at the same time. And that's the amazing thing about it. And I would be taking this connection. I just love this picture, this connection that you know, when a new parent, or not even a parent, when you hold a child in your hand, you'd see how vulnerable they are, how weak they are, and that all you want is just to take care of them, to be holding them in the right position, to be very tender with them. And I want to do that with everybody that I meet. Not everybody, I know I cannot do, but with the people that I can do this with, I want to do that with them. I want to have the deep connection that coaching is all about, because it is very intimate, it's very personal. You reveal things that you don't usually do, that you won't be able to do with your own family. And that was really quite interesting for me as well. And blossoming, and this is also because of one of the highlights of this journey, is one exercise that I did with you, Manaz. I was in the spotlight, and you helped me better my relationship with that inner dialogue, with the inner, I don't want to call it the bad word now, no, with the inner voice, with the inner realist, with the inner critic that I have inside, that I would see it as a blossoming, see it as a motivation, see it as a challenge, rather than just a critic, just, you know, shutting me down. And just, no, I would use that. I would blossom from the inward and outward, and have a better, I don't want to say I'm aligned, like, oh, I'm so peaceful now. It's not that, but I know that I have a better relationship with my inner dialogue now. I have a better understanding. I have a better acceptance of this inner dialogue, is because of this coaching journey, and because of the amazing skills that I caught by accident or by total presence and total attention in this. Always looking inward and outward again for new possibilities and new perspectives and new ways to connect and to be in life, whether it's from the inside or whether it's from the outside, from the people around us, or from this inner dialogue that we have inside of us. And last but not least is the act of listening. I really thought that I'm a good listener because I always pay attention to those little details, you know, but having to be guided on what to look at and what to actually pay attention to, and just giving the space, because I said this yesterday, just telling yourself to shut up. You don't need to comment every single minute, or just giving the safe space for this person to speak in front of you. Just be there for them and just have this total attention given to them is just amazing. And it's just something that I really appreciate coming out of this journey, and something that I really love. But as I said, I don't want to say it's all butterfly and it's all, yeah, I'm aligned, I'm so peaceful, I'm Buddha right now. It's not like that. And it's not like I'm going to jump and be a coach. Okay, let's do this. I believe I still have a lot of things to learn, but I'm so grateful for this journey, and so grateful for the most amazing thing, and the most important thing that I'm grateful for is that I now get to name these people as my friends, and people that I would never be able to meet in my life. Because of this, I would never be able to meet in person, and I connect with them on a deeper level, on the friends that I have. I told Charmaine, you guys are my imaginary friends that I just, you know, escaped from the real life. And I'm very grateful for that. I am. So thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. Thank you so much for this thing that you gave us. And I'm done.
So I want to start with something I just wrote because I didn't have so much time, and maybe I will comment on it later. I try to describe how this journey was for me in my own way. it's not, it's still a poem in development. I wouldn't call it a finished work, but it's my best work for now. And of course, it's titled NoorWorks. Okay, NoorWorks. We often wonder what life is all about. Why am I here? Where am I going? It's a journey, they say. It's a space where your multiple selves sway. Once your eyes are open, you cannot run away. Voices quarrel. When you search for your haven, you might stumble. Your soul scatters, your mind shatters, but you know it matters. Once your eyes are open, you cannot run away. Some say it's a calling. Others think of it as a blessing. It's life coaching. It's magic unfolding within the self. It's a self-embrace. Light within spreads out. Your soul reaching out. Your heartbeat is your compass. You learn to unlearn, to create the space. Unanswerable question accepted. Vulnerability embraced. Listen attentively, be present. Start with intention and end with a prayer. To others, you lend your hand. To others, you lend an ear. Your presence, your being here. Within the journey, you unravel the secret within, the secrets within and without. Once your eyes are open, you cannot run away. Your Noor really works once you let it in. Your Noor really works when you untangle yourself and listen to the sound of silence within. Now begins an adventure, a desire to wonder. It's a journey where you are becoming, where you don't stop learning. With every step you take, with every mistake you make, once, twice, and again, your brain is the blessing of today. Okay, I think I said it all within the poem, but one thing I want to say is thank you for this opportunity. I'm very grateful. I feel that this year was very overwhelming for me to take, but this was, like, I would say, God's gift to me to help me and guide me to feel a chance to meet everyone. And I'm just very excited to see where this goes. As Manal said, I'm not sure if I'm going to pursue this as a profession because now I'm taking it more on a personal level, like on my own personal development. But I was always thinking about how I can integrate everything I learned in my teaching job, because like I know everything starts with children. And if I can integrate anything that I learned now from early stages with the students that I learned, I think I can do a lot for them. So as like, I feel like this, what I wrote was a manifestation of like, I'm finally over the way of hesitating. Like, this is the first time I share with anyone publicly anything I write. And I think that's one of the things that I really learned to embrace throughout this journey, to be open, like to be open more to experience and give myself the space, like to, like before I'm asking others to like give me the space, I should be always responsible first for allowing myself to have that space. So yeah, I think like I learned a lot and I'm too exhausted after a 4 hours exam. So I just want to say thank you for everyone, for every session, for every second. Everything was valuable, and silence again was very valuable. And I'm very happy to get to know everyone here. So thank you. I'm done.
So, yeah, I wanted to, really talk today about letting go and trusting the process. It's something which I've kind of spoken a lot about. And, if I look at my journey over the last 18 months, it really has been about letting go and trusting the process. I read the Power of Now last year, September, whenever it was, and it really did change the way I looked at things, and probably my life, if I wanted to be that deep about it. Because I realized just how much in my head I used to be. My background, as some of you know, basically security, so I'm in risk. And so with me, it's always about what next, what ifs, what could happen. So I'm always thinking. And I'd always thought that that was my superpower, was the ability to overthink, overanalyze. And what the Power of Now did, as I said, is made me realize just how much in my head I was. And when I started to, observe rather than sit in my thoughts, and started to really kind of connect with, myself, my inner child, my inner guidance, my gut, my intuition, I, realized that the power was really in trusting that process. And that's something which, really has, that's something which has really struck a chord with me in this course. All too often, whether it's in the modules or, the in-between coaching sessions, what has been happening in my life has kind of echoed in the sessions. Perfect example, and I've said this to a number of people, that I no longer believe in coincidences. I think it was about 2-3 sessions ago, when we did the triangle, and Nadia and I got paired up together, and where we were was to a T, in symmetry with the other. And two things, kind of knowing that someone else out there is also going through something that you are going through here, and the process of listening and hearing them and allowing them to speak that out to you, also puts things in context for yourself. And from that whole exercise, something popped out of me, which I totally didn't expect. I expected, when we did the triangle exercise, for, me to come out and say, yeah, this is the way I want to go. But very clearly and definitively, it wasn't. It was about sitting in that space and squeezing out what that space had to teach me in that moment. And we talk about, you asked what this course has given me. It's given me a lot of things. As Manar and Haneen have said, it's given me friends who I hope and know I will have for a very long time. And we'll be speaking stories about the same stories that you, Manar, speak about with Mike and Jan, with guys on this course. And it's truly the first and only course I've ever taken that I actually didn't want to end, but end it must. And my intentions on this course have been pretty similar. They've rotated around being present, being authentic, and being open. And the being present is the bit which really kind of sticks out. And it ties into that piece about trusting the process. and almost, and before I'd have said, almost by coincidence, by chance, just to kind of prove my point. Rebecca is the person who brought me onto this course, and I did some coaching with Rebecca last year. And Rebecca, Manaz, you might have seen Rebecca or know or been involved in, anyways, the thing with the glass, the seawater and sea sand in a jar. And last year I was in a point of flux, I guess. And one of the first things that Rebecca did was show me this jar with water in it. And so she shook it. And she was like, right now, this is where you are. The soil and the sediment is flushed in the water. And you don't really know what's going on. It's really quite unclear. But, trust the fact that at some point in time, it will all settle. And, I've obviously taken this up, and I have this in my room, and I've actually given it to my son as well. And he's 4 years old and he just shakes it. But it's just confirmed. Oh, and sorry, circling back. And at lunchtime, just really out of the blue, I got a WhatsApp from Rebecca. She's, gone to meet her first grandchild for the first time. And it was almost a full circle piece for me. And, what I just say to everybody on the course is really just trust the process, and learn to just let go. I used to be all about control, and being comfortable in having this list of what ifs and so what's, and having a response to every situation. But all that actually did was just give me more and more stress. And this course has made me realize that I can't control things anyway. And that is something which really has changed my life. Just relaxing and letting go and letting God and the universe play its part and play its thing. And one of the things which I've picked up in this last year, and it's really become a bit of a mantra for me and tied into the whole process. And I really see this course as being, I won't say the final exam, but a kind of catalyst in the journey. Like-minded people. It came at the right time for me, if I'm totally honest, when I was open to receive what was being given and the experiences that I could have. And one of the mantras which I've picked up is, life happens for you, not to you. And that has really changed how I see things. I think, Manaz, you spoke either yesterday or today about, choosing the light as opposed to darkness. And again, that's another thing that really resonates with me. It's just that the fact that it's very easy and it's very simple to be like, oh, as it says, just when the caterpillar thought the world was ending, he turned into a butterfly. Is that tomorrow is another day. And this course, what happens afterwards, I don't know. Do I want to go into coaching? Yes. Intrinsically, I say yes. The admin part about it is the next box I need to tick and get myself organized in doing that. But nonetheless, it has given me friendship. It's given me insight into myself. and it's confirmed for me that I can trust in myself and trust that I have it in me to handle whatever comes tomorrow. And I guess that for me is the letting go. That's when I was able to start letting go. Maybe it wasn't when I was able to start letting go, but that's the link with it is, and you spoke about it at the very beginning when I was about this being internal, and that has really come out quite clearly. That confidence to coach two people who I had never met before at the community coaching. One who was off camera, so there's no real kind of feedback that you're getting. But the whole process, the whole course just gave me trust and confidence in myself and my capabilities. So what's next? We'll see. But I know that, just take it one day at a time and breathe and stroll. Thank you.
Okay, so my reflections of my journey and what my next steps are. I've chosen to use a series of images, and these are all but one images of the photos of me. And when I looked back at the past few months, it's amazing that most of them were taken within about 7 or 8 months. So every photo is some representation of my journey, literally, and how that links with the reflections of the course for me so far. This is the only one that isn't me, by the way. I am learning yoga, but I'm not there at the moment. And I have a shoulder injury, so I can't do that at the moment. So the first thing that I wanted to, the first thing I wanted to start with was how it made me feel present. And for me, this meant so much because I was always doing something. I couldn't quite sit still. There was always multiple things in my calendar. I couldn't often say no. And I think that's one thing I've learned. So that's why there were so many things going on all the time. And initially, when I looked at the dates that Manaz sent, I thought, a whole weekend every month. How can I keep a whole weekend free of not going anywhere? Because I was always doing something. And what led from that was actually, that was the one weekend in the month that I ended up looking forward to the most and sitting still. And I bought my house that I'm currently in March, and through everything that had gone on, I was moving job, obviously sorting out things for the house. And as lockdown lifted, we all got excited and went socializing and traveling. The first weekend that I actually sat in this garden and looked out and appreciated what I see from this view was the first weekend that I joined the course, which was incredible. So it literally made me very still. Just before I continue, I do want to show you what my view is, because it's surreal that it's the background that all resorts have. And this is my actual view. So I face onto a wood. I don't know if you can see, but when it was summer, the trees were very green, just like the background that you guys have. So that's been my view. And I didn't even realize I had this view until the first module that I did. So moving on to the next one. So it also gave me, just back on that one, it gave me the ability to be, not to do. And that's something that was new to me. I was always doing and I couldn't just be. And I think that's what came to mind when I found this image last night. So it also has given me clarity over direction. I'm literally at a crossroads with my decision at the moment with what I want to do. And like many of you have said, the timing was incredible for me. I didn't know when I signed up to it that at this stage I would be in a position to be, and I was going to get emotional, in a position to be looking at completely different career options. I didn't know I'd be in this position in December. But when I saw this image, and I found this one last night, I thought that really sums it up, because I feel like I've climbed to the top of the mountain and I'm looking and I've got so many options in front of me, and the path is what I want it to be. And I think that's what this has also given me the opportunity to find out. I think it's given me the wings to fly. So this is something that Manaz has mentioned before. And when my friend took this photo 3 weeks ago in Portugal, she took the photo and then she said, "You've got wings." And it's only when she said that I thought, wow, I didn't even know that. And it was at a time when Manaz had said this to us as well. So that's why I chose this one. So it unleashed the creative side of me, and through all the values exercise that we did and the wheel of life, it really made me realize that my career doesn't define me. And having spent 19 years of my life studying or training, actually there's more to life. And through doing the wheel of life exercise and realizing all of my creative hobbies, I thought my next step, when I'm choosing what I want to do now with my clean slate, when I'm about to resign Tari next week, I will have 3 months notice. So I still have to put up with them for 3 months, but in April, around April time, my clean slate will start. And I think it's a good time to start looking at what matters and all of the things that matter. So this is my painting. Well, both of them obviously are, but the one on the left was the last one I did before lockdown. It's pretty huge. It's in my hallway and I have lots of my paintings here, but this one represents so much to me. It's empowerment and freedom, and I do love dancing as well. So that's why when I chose what I was going to do for that project, I chose that. And the reason I put these on is because the course has given me the opportunity to reflect on all aspects of life as well, and all of my creative hobbies. So these were taken on the day that we did the last module. So on that day, it was
Thank you so much for this beautiful words, for your beautiful words.
So this was the day that it was the movement task. How incredible is that? That was the day that our dance group were going to do their first show since before COVID. So these were a few of the images that day that were taken. And the timing was amazing. It was the day that you did the moving exercise. So when I did mine, I was dressed like that with the video off after the lunchtime arrival at the venue. So I've been with this group for a few years, but we'd never met until that day. So it was crazy. We trained online together. I've made some amazing connections. I've made friends for life. It seems like the beginning of the journey that we all have together. And Manaz reminded me of that yesterday when I commented on my Instagram that it's the last day. And she said, no, it's the beginning. And I thought, yes, you're totally right. So Maseret, I've been lucky enough to meet Maseret and connect. I'm very blessed that we have had a couple of adventures over the past few months, and I really hope that I'll get the chance to meet more of you. I've already planned my trip to Jerusalem, so let's hope COVID doesn't get in the way of that. What are my next steps? So all of these were taken very recently. One of them, this was taken last week. So my next steps are that the course has equipped me to reach for the stars, that the sky is the limit, and that I can climb any mountain that I want to climb. And it's come at a time when I will need to make decisions. And that it's given me options for what I want to do with my career as well. And that there's no limit to the ocean that's in front of us, and with the options that are available. So I definitely want to do something with my coaching. I didn't know that when I started. I did it out of interest because I've had life coaching myself, because one of the coaches that I've worked with, the first one I ever worked with, was trained with Manaz. And so I'd heard of it before, but I hadn't ever thought of doing it. So I do definitely want to incorporate that. And the good thing is that this has come at a point of reflection when I'm planning what my clean slate will be in a few months' time. So this one is, I was with Charmaine the day that we did the moving exercise. And I described to her what the freedom and empowerment felt like to me. And then I found this is the one that I recorded that day. And I think that totally sums up the feeling that the course has given me, because I do feel like I'm free and flowing and swirling. And that's the movement that I described to her. And she said, if you leave the difficult position you're in, how will you feel? And that was the feeling of freedom that I described to her. So I wanted to say thank you to you all, and it's not goodbye. And this is an image of my vision that I drew yesterday.
What I'm doing next and where it's taken me and reflecting on the past few months. So I have taken the decision. I literally resigned about a couple of weeks ago from my job. And so I've been living every day like it's the weekend. And so what I've decided to do is I really want to take a break before I jump into what may be my next career or my next job. I don't know. But I know that I will be traveling in the near future, beginning of the year. And yeah, I want to, out of all the connections I've made throughout the course and the friends I've made, I'd really like to along the way connect with them, meet them, just as I've done Nadia. And I pray that I am given that opportunity, so we'll see what happens. I guess, sorry, 1 minute. I guess part of this traveling journey is to kind of just ultimately to realign, to reevaluate and to rediscover myself. I've spent 5-6 years working. Even before that, I would have to say I've been working my entire life. And for me, what I've learned is work isn't your life, and I don't want it to be my life. And what I've learned from this course is that there is so much more out there. And I've discovered so much of myself in the last few months, and I still want to discover so much more. And I want to give that an opportunity. So where it's going to take me, I'm going to do more of the things that I love and enjoy. So yoga has actually been a part of my life for six years, I think now, quite a long time. And the connection it has with this course is basically one of the highlights through learning about fix-it Tourette's and knowing what not to do, and unlearning what I know to be what I've learned my entire life. So yoga came into my life back when I needed a sense of calm, organization, direction, self-development. And traditional yoga itself is a philosophy which is more than just what modern day yoga is and what we see now. It's more than proving your strength or showing off how flexible you are in the many postures it presents. I have found that much of yoga actually aligns itself with this course. It's a transformative journey of healing and self-discovery. In fact, traditional yoga is quoted as being a highly organized path, giving precise direction and guideline to humanity for those who are interested in spirituality and self-development. In my own journey of self-reflection and self-development, through this course, I've learned not to conform to or to listen to others' ideals or viewpoints. Therefore, I'm going to be more of me by unlearning what I have learned, by being wrong sometimes, by taking the wrong path, which actually may in fact be the right path, who knows, by simply living in a space that brings me happiness, love, and peace. And then along the rest of that journey, there's going to be some animals, I really hope. I really love animals. I have a cat myself, and his name is Max. And it brings me to the next part of the highlight of the course for me, metaphors. So this takes me further on to my travels or journey that we are all intrinsically connected in life. There is an invisible web we weave in this Milky Way of life that connects us all to one another and as one. The last 6 years has seen me go on a career journey for which the most part felt unfulfilling, uninspired. It left me feeling empty. And with this, I have always felt like there was something more I needed to do, and the need to help others or be of service to others. As I've highlighted, I love animals, and I have a cat, basically, Max. And I want the opportunity to be of service to this world by taking part in looking after animals, whether that is through a conservation project along my travels or helping out on an animal reserve. Who knows how it'll transpire, but I'm looking forward to it. But just between you and me, if there was a secret power that anybody could have, and this has always been my wishful thinking, I would really love to have the ability to speak to animals, to truly hear them, to speak them, and to help them. Which takes me on to the rest of my journey, giving a helping hand. And this is where the course really comes in. So listening has been a huge part of every single session. I've struggled with it. There's been challenges, but I have seen exactly how amazing listening as a skill is and what superpower it has given me. It takes me to the final step, the helping hand. By no means is it the last, though. Listening was one of the biggest highlights for me throughout this course. It was a challenge and I have struggled with it, but I have learned what it means to be truly present, to let go completely and to hold a space. The power of listening has truly created a big bang amount of energy and has equipped me with the ability to step outside of confusion, of being unsure, into the realm of possibility, adventure, and confidence. I know with this superpower, I am a coach. And I have to say that I didn't know that before I started this before I started this course. I had no wish to become a coach, and I didn't know where it would take me, but I can say now with confidence that this is the path I wish to take, and that through it I can be of service to others the way it has been of service to me. It will allow me to give back to myself, my community, the world, and even the universe. If this ability can make me smile, grow, and transform myself from the inside out, maybe one step at a time, it can also change the world we live in. We can save the Amazon rainforest, we can save the oceans, and we can save lives. Even if I transform or change one life along my journey, I will know it has so been worth every single minute. And finally, I hope to be soaring high. And for the longest time ever, I feel ready to take a leap of faith, to fly and to be free. With that, that's the end of my presentation, but I do have a poem I'd like to read, if that's okay. This poem is not a new poem. This poem was written a few months ago, but I feel like it was written for this moment. And so I'd like to share it with you. Excuse me, because I don't want to get emotional, but I can see Minaz's face and I'm going to try my best. So, the beauty of nature. You stand tall with honor and proudly with strength. Your beauty hangs majestically, gently, it illuminates the gray. You age gracefully, never ashamed to show each line, each crack. Your stature is grand, yet invisible. You hear cries and laughter, yet delicately, quietly whisper your tales. You stand through storms, tough and unafraid. You honor time, waiting patiently, never complaining. We pass you by unnoticed, unadmonished, undesired. Yet, as I sit still and take in your I can't say it, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, as I sit still and take in your magnificence, I see you moving, reverberating against time, against space. I see an illusion rippling against the winds. I see a peaceful awakening of your soul. I hear your silence in waves. Thank you. So I'd like to say that this course has really given me so much more than I ever anticipated. Just everything. My confidence has returned. I'm able to feel free. I feel so much clarity for the first time in a long time. And the friendships I've made along the way, as everybody has said, I really hope and pray that I stay connected with each and every one of you, because you have made a difference. Thank you.
First, I would like the poem, the prose, the lines I wrote yesterday. And this is about the life, my life, and which is actually for connection, the connection of mind and body to create and synchronize and to align with the nature, not to destruct, to construct better bonds, to produce and to grow with mind and wealth, to make this world a better place by providing your services to help this world evolve and to connect with other people, maybe on other planets, on some other parts of this galaxy, or this universe, or some other universe. To find out the answers inside and outside. I think my life is for connection of mind and body, of self, of humanity, of nature, of this world, or maybe of this solar system, and of our Milky Way, or maybe our galaxy, or maybe our universe, or all of the universe we have. So this course has been a life-changing experience to me. I have never been to interactions before. Those sessions, maybe those were in the groups, but never one-to-one session. And being a client and being a coach, it was a lifetime experience. And thank you, Manaz, for giving me that lifetime opportunity. And after that, I would like to talk about the highlights of this course, and most important are like Wheel of Life. And with the Wheel of Life, I realized where I am right now and where I want to be in the future. And that was really a self-awakening experience for me. And then the exercise of triangle, the attachment and detachment from yourself. How to hold the space and being present as being client and being a coach. These are all the highlights of this course. And I would like to thank everyone for being there as my client and as my coach. And I would like to be a solver for myself, for my family, for my community, my country, and for this whole universe. I don't know if I would make this coaching a full-time profession, but if it would be my profession, my full-time profession, it would be look like doing sessions in the mountains, in the valleys, maybe near the water streams or waterfalls. And I would like to have my hotel or my motel, and I want to host people there and train or help them to get the best out of them, of what, and I'm to face what's coming next. Apart from all the challenges I'm facing right now, this course has given me contentment